So here we are, leaving Fellside, and we're heading up Brae Fell, up towards Brae Fell, and then Sca Fell. So it's quite a straightforward path. I've parked in a little pull-in in Fellside, tiny little hamlet. Nice little parking spot beside the start of the route. I've just been following the track up, and I have to say I missed this right turn here, so I carried on walking, and it wasn't until I was past the stream over there where I realised I'd missed a turn. So this is the actual right turn, and that's where we're heading up there. So don't miss this turn. Concentrate. Here we are, just approaching the summit of Brae Fell. And if you look across, I'll be heading over to Sca Fell, and then beyond to Knott, and then we're skirting round and back down the valley. Very muggy today, very warm, very close. This is Brae Fell, and over there is Sca Fell. Now beyond it is Knott, and I'm not sure whether I can see Knott yet. But anyway, that's where we're heading next. Sca Fell. This is Brae Fell. And that's where we came from. I'm just heading to Sca Fell from Brae Fell. And I'm looking across, and I can see Little Man Skiddaw and Skiddaw over there. Looking mighty. We were only there a couple of days ago. Awesome. This is Sca Fell. That's where I've just come from. And this is tomorrow. And we're parking down there, that little reservoir, a little lake, and we're heading around here tomorrow, cracking off these Wainwrights. So this is Knott, and in the background you can just make out the backside of Blencathra and Sharp Edge, and that's Great Calver. We were only there a couple of days ago. So you can just make out Bannerdale Crag, which was there last Sunday on the way up to Blencathra, and Sca Fell over there on the horizon. I'm heading down across this moor. I'm looking for some shelter out the wind to grab a sandwich and a coffee. And I've just crossed Grainsgill Beck, and we're heading up past the hut that you can see in the distance. I think we're going to skirt right the way up to the horizon, and then I'll probably hang a right over there. There's High Peak. I'm not going up it yet because I've come to the right turn, this faint track going over to Carrock, so I'm going to head over to Carrock and then double back. Now I've just bumped into somebody en route, and he tells me it's quite boggy as I get a bit further up, so hopefully should be okay. This is Carrock, most impressive hill of the day, I'd say, quite easily. Unfortunately, it's low cloud today, so there's no views to speak of. Just approaching the summit of Carrock Fell. Wasn't as boggy as that gentleman suggested earlier, however I would imagine after a lot of heavy rain it could be extremely boggy, so luckily we've had a dry spell. I can't resist a pano from here. We've got a lot of the hills that I've climbed over the last few days are visible from here. It's quite a good view, quite a good view. Just coming to the top of High Peak. Like Stan's met a friend. So we're at the top here, High Pike, looking back to Carrock Fell. Quick pano. Quick pano. Now you see the first one of the day now, Brae Fell. That's great Sca Fell. That's Knott. Fabulous. Still filling in my Wainwright book for today, which was Sunday the 18th of April. I walked Route 5. I had a bit of a mishap actually on this walk. Quite early on I'd missed a path, a right turn, which you'll see in the video. And just prior to me having missed the path, I was aware that I'd missed the path, and I was just doing a quick map check whilst holding on to the two dogs. Now quite early on, and Stanley's young, so I was holding Stan and Mia on a lead whilst trying to map read and walk, and all at the same time. And I stumbled across a rock, and I must have been walking far too fast downhill with the dogs pulling. I ended up flying and cutting all my hand open, and I think there's a lesson to be learnt there for me, which is, you know, take your time whilst map reading. The most of the day was very easy nav. Saying most of it, I became a little bit unstuck at the end, which I'll come to in a minute. And also the second half of the day could be very boggy, I would imagine, if you'd had long spells of rain. Now we've just had a dry spell at this point, so I found the whole day was good, but you can see underfoot that it could be particularly boggy in places. Also, I'm not doing a particularly good job at this video. I thought as I got more and more of these done, I'd become more proficient, and clearly I'm not, because I'm calling things the wrong name, and but I'll get there. I will get there. I need to get there before I hit the Munros, because I really struggle with the pronunciations in Scotland. So on this one I'm referring to High Peak quite a lot, when actually it's High Pike. So I do apologise on that one. And also on the descent of the last climb, which is High Pike, I took an incorrect path on the way down. Now, if you manage to see my Strava, you'll see a map and what I did take, but I ended up skirting an old quarry, and which was all fenced off for safety, and eventually I managed to follow a path down to the valley bottom, and then along, hang a left, and then you pretty much follow that back to the car. It's not the end of the world, but I think more care is required on the descent. Funnily enough, the day actually felt quite hard, considering it's just a short afternoon walk, 12.5 miles, and there was 2,630 feet of climbing, so certainly not as much as Route 4, although it did only take me 4.5 hours, and I was actually out for about 5.5 hours if you include a sandwich stop and coffee and whatnot. But you know, the route itself felt harder than the Route 4, which the stats on Route 4 suggested there's much more climbing. So it's deceiving. Maybe I was just not feeling as good.